Hi, I'm Jason from StrataGames. Today we're playing some more Black Sack in Pauper. A player by the name of M Sales recently trophied with a list using some very interesting tech in Black Sack, and I've taken a lot of that and made my own version of the deck. So there's two mini combos that are running in the deck that I'm using right here, as well as another card that I just haven't seen too many other players use. So the first mini combo is Bloodthrone Vampire as one of our new growers. Sacks a creature to give +2/+2 until end of turn, but it is 2 mana and it's still just a 1/1. So unlike Carrion Feeder, it's twice as expensive, and the pump doesn't last beyond the turn. So this is making more of a one-shot creature, as opposed to trying to make several 6/6s or whatever and beat over the course of several turns. But the combo with that is Rite of Consumption, which is one I've been trying out a little bit in general. It sacrifices a creature basically just to fling it at your opponent. You also gain life equal to the power of that creature. So Bloodthrone Vampire grows twice as quickly, so we only need to sacrifice 5 creatures for it to be 11 power, and then we can Rite of Consumption it to essentially give double strike, right? If we can attack for 11, assuming they don't have any blockers or we've cleared the blockers, hit them for 11, and then we can Rite of Consumption to deal the last 11 damage, then that's a really nice little combo. The other combo is also one that goes really well with Bloodthrone Vampire. Nested Shambler, which I've shown off before. A 1/1, when it dies, you make 1/1 squirrels equal to its power, and then also Supernatural Stamina, which is a card people have been talking a lot about in the Discord. If you haven't joined that yet, you should. Supernatural Stamina gives +2/+0, and when the creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped. So if we throw this on Nested Shambler and then sacrifice it to our Bloodthrone Vampire, it comes back, and then it also gives us 3 squirrels because it had 3 power, and then when it dies again, it'll give us another squirrel. This means that 1 Nested Shambler plus a Supernatural Stamina can be 6 sacrifice triggers. So those 2 cards plus a Bloodthrone Vampire can be 13 power, which again can be our Rite of Consumption that can deal well over 20 damage, or we can use it with a Carrion Feeder and some Beetles and just give 6 counters to all of them. Absolutely insane combo that we got going on there. Another card that M Sales was running in their list is some Voracious Vermin. This is more or less a Gixian Infiltrator. It grows every time any of our creatures dies, whether we sacrifice them or not, but it also enters with a fodder piece of its own, a 1/1 that can't block. The big downside is it's a 3-drop creature, and in this list, because we're running Stamina, we're not running Unearth, which would be a really nice way to cheat the 3 mana after it has already died once. We can still use its Stamina on it, but we have to have it right at that time, so that doesn't come up quite as often. So I'm only running 2 Vermins, and I'm not confident they're going to stick in the deck, but this is what we're running with so far. I will say, since we're just running a couple Rite of Consumption, I'm also trying out a couple Wedding Invitation, which is a 2-mana artifact. When it enters, draw a card, and you can sacrifice it to give target creature unblockable, and if it's a vampire, it also gains lifelink until end of turn. The lifelink can be nice with our vampire if, say, we don't have a lethal amount of attackers, and we just need to gain 9 or 11 life or something like that to survive against a Pinger Burn opponent, but usually this is just giving unblockability and it cycles. So this, with a vampire, get in for 11, and then Rite of Consumption, again, can be a pretty easy win. Other than that, we're running a lot of the same cards people have been running. 4 Carrion Feeder, 4 Beetle, our Link Breakers, and Infestation Sages. All of our fodder are double-body creatures to take advantage of the Supernatural Stamina and our vampires. We're running 7 Draw 2s. May seem like a weird number. M Sales was only running 6. I managed to up that 1, but just didn't really have anything else that I wanted to cut. 17 lands. It's pretty important since we're running 3 drops to have enough lands, so I think we definitely need 17 in this version. Then we have a couple of Cursed Marauders, which of course is just a very nice removal spell that can also grow our Beetles along the way. For our sideboard, pretty standard. We have a couple Spell Bombs and Crypt Incursions for Graveyard Hate. Crypt Incursion is also some life gain along with Spinning Darkness, which can pick off pingers or elves or whatever. Several Drown in Sorrows, 3 of them to be exact, to wipe any go wide strategy. 1 more Accursed Marauder, 2 Tragic Slips, and then we have 3 Duresses. Now, the Mesmeric Fiends have been a staple since the beginning of the deck, but there's 2 reasons we're running Duress here. First of all, without Unearth, Mesmeric Fiend loses a lot of value. We are running the Supernatural Staminas, which can be used in a similar way to Unearth, but you have to have that additional mana right then, and you have to have the card right then. Similarly, with Marauder, we can get 2 creatures out of their way, double edict them if we have the stamina, but again, we have to use it right at that time, so it's a little bit worse. Mesmeric Fiend is best on turn 2 when you're sacrificing it right away with a Carrion Feeder and you're stripping something from their hand, and then you unearth it the following turn. Waiting until turn 3 for the stamina is just kind of rough. But also we have a higher curve here with the Vermins and the Bloodthrone Vampires, so I think having 1 mana Duresses is quite important here. So that's the list we're running, and let's see how we do. Just a reminder, I recently launched a Patreon account, so if you're interested in supporting me financially, go ahead and check the link in the description. We're definitely missing a Vampire or a Carrion Feeder, but we do have Stamina Shambler with the Corrupted Conviction. Plus we have some Beetles, so it looks pretty decent. Gonna just start with the Shambler. Opponent on Infect. I've been seeing more of it lately. A little scary. but I think we're going to be fine here, potentially. I'm just going to get down a couple beetles and pass. Next turn, I mean, Infect is one where we can't... Escape Tunnel is really bad, plus they got a Glistener Elf. Yeah, I guess I need removal, but this version is only playing 2 Accursed Marauders. But if we get a Marauder, we could stamina it, kill both their guys, but we didn't. Which means we might die already. I can do Stamina Conviction this, but then I don't have any mana for an Accursed Marauder. And 4 cards in hand, I'm going to assume they have lethal since they already have a 4-power creature here. So I think I just have to Conviction the Shambler, so that if I get a Cursed Marauder, I can at least take away the Augur, and maybe that keeps us alive. Just another Village Rites. Okay, I guess we just pass. They sack this for a land. Okay. They don't have another, maybe they don't have Unblockable. They do sack to give Trample, but that grows our beetles. Plus we can sack so we can make these 8 toughness and power, so we might not die here. We're at 6 right now. They embiggen, that's going to make 8. So let's make ours 8. So currently they'll trade. Rite of Consumption. Then they have a Mutagenic Growth. That's 10. I'll Stamina to keep one of our beetles alive, plus it will make it so they have to use another pump spell to keep their guy alive. Looks like they're going to trade. So we get our beetle back. We do take 2 Infect. And they have another Glistener Elf. Bloodthrone Vampire is something, I guess. But we only took 2 poison, and now they're going to only have 3 cards in hand. So, plus Trample usually only comes from the Augur or Unblockable from an Escape Tunnel. So we might be okay. We're going to go for the double block. Go forth is +2/+2. So we're going to sacrifice the beetle to give this +2/+2. So then they're going to trade. And if they want to use another spell to grow their guy, then we can Conviction away the vampire. Snakeskin Veil. Okay. Stamina after that and a land is pretty bad. We definitely need a creature, but that's not bad. Now they only have 1 card, going to go up to 2 cards. But all they have is a 2/2 Infect. So now we're feeling okay. And if they attack, I can Stamina my Link Breaker. They have to use another pump trick. They're going to proliferate. That's kind of cool with the Snakeskin. Obviously, we get a poison counter, but also they make this a 3/3. Which won't matter with the Stamina if they have another pump spell, but we're going to go for it, of course. And they have a Might of Old Krosa. But now they're out of cards, and they just have a 3/3 Infect. And we have 3 rounds of blockers, plus a beetle. Okay. I guess I'll just attack with the Mercenary. Now they don't attack. They have another Elf. Voracious Vermin's a pretty good draw here. And I think I'm just passing, as are they. Wedding Invitation's not bad. If we can just find like a Bloodthrone Vampire, we can probably end it pretty soon with both Rite and Wedding Invitation. This basically gives double strike. This is unblockable, so we could attack in. We'd only have to sack like 5 guys. But we do need to find that first. I guess I could have pumped the Vermin and attacked with it. But then it just trades for the 1/1 Elf, and I don't love that. This is giving them a lot of time to get cards, but of course we're drawing too many lands. Still no attacks from them. There's a Carrion Feeder. That's not bad. That lets us attack with the Vermin and the Beetle if we want. I think I want to have a blocker right now, so I'll just go with the Vermin. Like a blocker with some toughness. They're going to block with the Glistener Elf. We will sack the Rat token, get a counter, grow the Beetle and the Vermin, and just lose the counter unless they want to pump. +4/+4. Okay. I will sack a Link Breaker so that they at least trade. Obviously, no way I'm going to keep it alive now, but if they're using pump spells defensively, I think I'm okay with that. And we'll pass. We're also growing the Beetle, so it's not like a total loss or anything. Sage, so that's actually pretty good. We can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Make this 10 power. I think we can kill here. Because we can pump the Beetle twice. Sack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which makes it 10 power, plus we can make it unblockable. Plus we can do Rite of Consumption. So let's do that. Sack the Sage. Sack the Mercenary. Mercenary. Insect. And we'll just hit for the 9, and then we'll Rite of Consumption, sack the Beetle. Alright, got there against Infect game 1. We bring in all our removal, Spinning Darkness, Drown in Sorrows, Tragic Slips, even Marauder. This is very much like a Kiln Fiend matchup, where all we want to do is kill their creatures. If we can kill their first 2 or 3, generally that's going to be good enough. So we can cut out, even though the Rites and Wedding Invitation were good there, I don't know if we need them. Like, again, if we just kill their creatures, usually it's not that bad for us if they're chumping anyway. I think we'll cut a couple Corruptions and then bring all that in. Tragic Slip's good. Drown is good. We got the Stamina with one of these. I think we're going to keep it just because we have a good amount of interaction, even though we only have one land. I only kept a 7-card hand, which is pretty good. That's an Augur. Drown in Sorrow. Not great. Play the Link Breaker. They don't have a second land, which means no creature yet, and we draw ours. So now we're in a very good spot. So we'll just play these two and pass. And if they don't get a land down, we can just start cracking in. They get a Glistener Elf. We can Tragic Slip that. If we wait until they untap, Swamp's pretty good. If we wait until they untap, then they could have Hexproof. So I'll probably just go for it here. So let's just swing with the team. No blocks. So I'm going to Supernatural Stamina, our Link Breaker, hit, and then I'm going to Tragic Slip this elf. And if they responded with like Mutagenic, then I would respond with sacking the Link Breaker, which would give Morbid. But they didn't, so we will just sack this guy, bring him back, make a whole bunch of dudes, and we'll pass. And now we can just make 2 5/5s, and if they play another creature here, we can just drown it in Sorrow. Which I suppose, if they have a Mutagenic, it will survive. Sack the Link Breaker on the end step. Infestation Sage. Well, we're going to pump the Carrion Feeder twice, because if they do have a Mutagenic growth, I'm going to want to leave back this Beetle. But then I'm going to get in for less damage. I'm not lethal anyway, so I think we'll just go for it pre-combat just to make sure. It looks like it's just fine. We don't even need a Bloodthrone Vampire. We'll attack for 8. And then we're now forcing blocks on both our creatures with this Infestation Sage. They have an Escape Tunnel, and a Mirror. Plus we get a Swamp so we can drown even if we really needed to. If they somehow keep this alive. But they're going to have to chump block with both of these guys. So we should be able to get them. Alright. Nice quick match. We have both Rites of Consumption, Carrion Feeders, Bloodthrone Vampire, everything in our hand sacrifices. Also only one land. This is not a keep. We only run 7 card draw spells and 17 lands. This hand on 6, I'm almost tempted to keep it because if we draw anything, like we can sack it. But then if we're sacking a Bloodthrone Vampire, a Beetle, anything like that, we're not really happy. So I think we can get a better 5-card hand, and this is better, but it's still a little rough. We're going to keep the Shambler Stamina package, and I think we get rid of Link Breaker and some card draw, keep the Beetle, I guess. So if we get a mountain, if we get a land into like our Bloodthrone Vampire, we'll be in a pretty good spot. Land is a nice start, just because we can make a million guys off this Shambler. I think I could just go for it now. Against Burn, I kind of want a fast start, and getting a Beetle down is just going to die pretty quickly. I think we do just make like a billion guys. So hit for 3, and then draw 2. This guy comes back, plus it makes 3 1/1s. Card draw, we get a Swamp and a Sage. Not amazing, but we just have a pretty fast clock now, and they're not going to have a lot of board clear to deal with it. In the main deck, Vampire's Kiss. We get another Beetle. Well, I guess we're just playing out the crew. I'm not expecting an End the Festivities in their main deck. If they have it, we get wrecked, but I just don't think they're really playing that right now. So hopefully we'll just get there with 7 1/1s. I have a Grab the Prize with an Alms of the Vein. Yeah, this is just under a 2-turn clock. With life gain, it's going to be a 3-turn clock, which we're already at 12. That could be too slow. We definitely need to draw something. Carrion Feeder's pretty good. There's no way that's lethal, right? We can play it and then sack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is 16 counters plus the 2 power of the Beetle. That's 18. I absolutely got to count that again, but Beetles are 2 damage, and each creature we sacrifice is 2 more. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. I think that's lethal. So we're going to go for it. Sack everything and hit with 2 9/9s. Oh my gosh. This is making me believe in the Supernatural Stamina Nested Shambler combo. That was crazy. Turn 4 wins are not unheard of in this deck, but with that start and their life gain, like they had gained 5, so an extra 25 damage total is incredible. All right, here we get Crypt Incursions, Spell Bombs, And Duresses is kind of a weird one because Spinning Darkness is a life gain card. Great against Mono Red Burn. Not great here because it can't hit Snacker or Kitchen Imp. But Crypt Incursions, Spell Bombs are good. Waiting Invitations give lifelink to a Vampire, but if we're giving Unblockable to our Vampire, usually it's winning anyway. Maybe it can gain like 7 and it's not going to win, but then if we don't have anything else to sacrifice, it's usually just we're going to lose the game anyway. But I think the Rites as like double strike, dealing extra damage, still has some merit. I think Marauders, it's tough. I don't want to take out all our Marauders because then we don't have a single way to get rid of like a Kitchen Imp. But it's possible just a couple Drowning Stars is better. Vermin feels slow. They're usually putting up turn 4, I guess maybe 5 wins. But Voracious Vermin, if it comes down on turn 3 and we need to win by turn 4, it's got only 1 turn to really do anything. And we don't want to Dirtle, so I think taking out some card draw is fine. Sure, let's run it like this. Alright, we have double Crypt Incursion, which is pretty bad. Only one of these is really necessary. I guess if we hit them and we hit us, maybe it's okay. Nested Shambler is good with Bloodthrone Vampire if we can get the stamina. That's really good. And a Duress is okay. Guess we'll keep it. It feels kind of weird. Feels like we're already on a Multi 6 with the Crypt Incursions. But, I don't know. I think, depending on what they start with, which is probably the tap land, we might just do a Duress so that they can't do like a grab the prize turn 2 with a Snacker. Carrion Feeder's not bad. I mean, it's a little redundant, but yeah, I think we'll do this. Faithless, Highway Robbery, Fiery Temper, Vampire's Kiss. Only 2 lands. I think we take the Highway Robbery since it's just card advantage. I mean, Faithless Looting is card advantage 2 with the Fiery Temper, as is, I guess, kind of all of these. I think Robbery has the highest upside, so we'll take that. They're going to Kiss. Another Shambler. I guess we're just putting out 2 Shamblers. So if I put out a Carrion Feeder, they could bolt it. If I put out a Bloodthrone Vampire, it's by itself, they could definitely just kill it. They do find another land, and then they just pass. Supernatural Stamina off the top. They do have Fiery Temper up, though. So I could go for the Stamina, but if they just shoot the guy in response, it's not great. I think we'll just wait till they're tapped out. So I think we're going to go with the Bloodthrone Vampire. This does make it so we can't do the Stamina this turn. But if they try to Fiery Temper this, I can just sack one of these twice to keep it alive, not a big deal. And then the Stamina with the Bloodthrone Vampire and on the Shambler, like this could potentially put up lethal next turn. They're going to shoot the Vampire. So yeah, I'll sack a Shambler. So Stamina plus Shambler is 6 triggers. So that's 13 damage right there. Unfortunately, we got to lose 2 to this Fiery Temper, but especially if they have a Lightning Bolt to follow it up. But if not, then we have potential 13 next turn, which is not lethal, so we're not probably going to do that right away, but like it's not bad. They do have a bolt. I guess now we will just let it go because we can also still do the same stuff with Carrion Feeder, which is obviously half as much damage, but it's also sticking around, more reliable. And then they plot a Highway Robbery and a Beetle here. Okay, so since they're tapped out, I can now go for the Carrion Feeder Shambler, hit for 3, sack it, and we'll just save the rest of these sacrifices until we have the Beetle down, unless they try to kill the Carrion Feeder. But now we got a formidable army again. This combo is really good. Very impressive. Faithless Looting. Kitchen Imp and a Fiery Temper. Okay. Not too worried about the Kitchen Imp. Fiery Temper, if they try to shoot this, I can keep it alive. And they just go to face. Yeah, the thing was, seeing as they were throwing all their lightning bolts at our Vampire, we're still at 14. I guess we're going to be at 12 after the Kitchen Imp, but they haven't pressured our life total too much, which is nice. And they have a Jagged Baron, so almost out of cards, although they do have a Faithless in the graveyard. We get a Swamp. Currently, that's only 2 creatures in our graveyard for a Crypt Incursion, but it's not terrible. I can just attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. I play a Beetle, and we're definitely threatening lethal next turn. What are the chances they could kill us here? If they have to flashback the Faithless Looting, hit us with the Kitchen Imp, we're down at 9. I don't think they're going to be able to kill us from 9 with only 2 cards and 4 mana. Even though it's pretty mana inefficient, I think we are going to play this Beetle so that we have the pressure for next turn. So put them to 11, and next turn we can have a 6 and a 7 power creature attacking in, plus a Crypt Incursion on ourselves for 9 life. They are not attacking. That's a great sign. Village Rites isn't bad. Let's just swing. They're going to block the Carrion Feeder. So I will sacrifice a squirrel here. Doing the squirrel because it's possible I'll want to save the Shambler until we get a supernatural stamina. But this should eat their guy now, and we'll just deal him 5. They have cards, and I don't think there's any way we can deal lethal, even if we go all in, so I'm just going to take it slow here. And yeah, I don't think there's any reason to do anything here, because they could, on the end step, like, blood token into a fiery temper, and then do something else, like a lightning bolt, and like it's possible that they could kill us. But if we hold up Crypt Incursion, we should be okay. And here's the temper. Down to 8. Untap. I don't think there's any way that they're going to be able to respond to our Crypt Incursion to kill us. Like, they would need 3 bolts here, and they'd have to kick one off, and so then I could Crypt Incursion. They have a swamp. Means they could Faithless Looting. Oh, they do have that highway robbery. Good to remember. Maybe should have responded to that. They discard a Razor Trap Gorge, and they have a Grab the Prize with the Kitchen Imp. I think this is our opportunity. We'll let them tap 2 here. But then I'm going to sack the Squirrel, Shambler. Oh, I can't do it with the Village Rites. Yeah. Sack the Nested Shambler, grow our guys, and then Crypt Incursion ourselves to gain 9. Go up to 17. Should put us comfortably out of death range, and then we can kill them next turn. All right? All right, we're on the draw here with 1 land. A lot of utility, though. Beetle. This isn't a Shambler, unfortunately. Don't have any sack fodder except the Conviction, but turn 1 this, turn 2 this isn't terrible. I think we'll give it a try. Opponent down to 5 cards, 4 cards, 3 cards. Well, that's going to help us a little bit. No turn 1 play from them, and we draw our swamp. Well, I'm going to start with the Link Breaker. I assume they're just going to want to get a little bit of information out of us. Yeah, to find out what we're on before they concede, which is totally reasonable. I just couldn't not play anything, because if they came back from that, that would be really embarrassing. I guess I could have just played a swamp and passed. Maybe they would have gone another turn. Whatever. We don't know what we're against, obviously. They mulliganed really low. It could have just been unlucky. I could take this and assume they're on like a combo deck. I think the decks that could mulligan that low really easily would be High Tide if they just didn't draw any lands, Bogles, Walls. Walls, I guess Duress isn't going to be great against. Let's just do a wild shot in the dark and bring in 3 Duress. Let's just do it. How bad could it be? Duress is fine against most opponents. The stand looks fine. Not crazy or anything. Opponent mulls to 6. But they stop there this time. Forest, Caretaker. Hey, look, it's Walls. This is one of the matchups where Duress is not as good, as mentioned. I'll just start with the Beetle. I guess there's no way I'm really sacking enough to get the Beetle up. I guess if I top deck a Carrion Feeder, maybe. Yeah, I'll just start with the Beetle. Walls is definitely the one I mentioned that is less, that the Duress is least good against, but what are you going to do? I might not draw, it might not be relevant. They have a Wall of Roots, and tap it for a 1-drop. Aquarian Ranger. Rite of Consumption is great in this matchup. Let me just play a Shambler and attack with my Beetle. They could just take a couple damage, or they could untap one of these, but they're going to take it. I will use this opportunity to get in for 2. It's kind of hard to get past walls a lot of times, because they have a lot of walls, so I'm just going to take the damage while I can. There's the Duress. Maybe it'll catch a Freed from the Reel, or lead the Stampede or something. Overgrown Battlement. They're untapping, they're making red here, so Tuk Tuk Rebel Fort's my guess. There it is. 1 card in hand. We're going to Duress them. Just see what it is. Hope it's a lead the Stampede now. It's a Bramble Worm. Okay. Yeah, it's 7 mana, and they have 1, 2, 3. This makes 4, so 4, and they can double it. So they can definitely play a Bramble Worm next turn. Good to know. And it has haste. I'm just going to Conviction this Squirrel. I want to save the Shambler if we get a, you know the one. Supernatural Stamina. Carrion Feeder's not bad. We just need this Beetle to be big enough to block the Bramble Worm, which shouldn't be too hard. They're not even attacking. Okay, fair enough. Play a couple Carrion Feeders. So we have 4 sacks, which makes this a 7/7, so it can't really block yet because it trades, but 1 more creature, and it will have the potential to. Carrion Feeder, although that's one of the worst ones, because it could just be an 8/8. If they also block with Aquarian Ranger, it would just trade, and we'd lose our entire board, so I don't think I'm willing to do that. Just 1 more. is what we need. We're in a bad spot, though, because if they just get like an Axe-Bane Guardian, Shield Wall Sentinel is probably one of the worst, because it can just find anything, including another one if they just want to loop them. But they could just go straight to the Drift of Phantasms. And we're just getting swamps. Alright, I'm going to attack with the Beetle, and if they double block here, I'll at least kill the Quarian Ranger. If they just block here, I'm willing to sacrifice everything, including the feeder itself. Here's an 8/8. Eat your worm, and I'll pass. And we're probably dead anyway. I guess they do have 2 blue from the Caretaker and the Ranger, which means they can just find... I guess they can't combo with Freed from the Rail yet, but they can just find an Axe-Bane, which has haste. There it is. Make 1,000,000 mana. They have Third Path Savant. I mean, pretty good even without Infinite if they're just drawing 2 cards here. Yep. Trying to think of the sequence of draws that wins us the game here, and that's not it. Link Breaker does not do enough. We hit for 8, and they take it, but unfortunately, Right isn't hitting for enough yet. I guess maybe we can survive here, but it seems unlikely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Each of these is tapping for 2 card draw. Also, they have a Shield Wall, which can get a Drift, which can get Freed from the Real, and they have the Outlet, so we're dead. Alright, I tried the no-scope, bringing in the Duresses, and it did not work. Now that we actually know what to sideboard against, we get a lot more removal. Although Marauders actually don't feel amazing, because they have a lot of random stuff to sacrifice. And we kind of want all of these. These are made for this match. I don't think we're taking those out. But I guess I could just take out the card draw and keep these in. Sure. Because they're still decent with like a Supernatural Stamina or something. Speaking of, we have this in Shambler. We have Spinning Darkness, Village Rites. We really need a land. And we're on the play. So we start with a Shambler. Next turn, if we don't get it, and we have to Village Rites this, now we're in a bad spot. Yeah, it looks decent. It looks like, except for 2 lands, it has everything you want in this matchup, which is Rite of Consumption, Bloodthrone, Vampire, and a buttload of creatures, which is these right here. So if we can just hit for 13 and then Rites, we could have like a pretty quick turn 4 win here. But, of course, we're going to need to draw lands, so we'll see how it goes, I believe. Opponent mulls to 6. Couldn't get him to go any lower, though. Cycle an Ent. Another Stamina. So I can Village Rites to try to hit our land drop. Or I could wait 1 turn. Certainly couldn't wait more than 1 turn. Let's wait 1 turn. What's the worst that could happen? If we draw our land next turn, we still have a good shot. They've got a Wall of Roots. Alright, well, we got a Village Rites. Let's attack. They're going to take it. I will sack. We got a land. Got a second Spinning Darkness. I think we're just going to Village Rites this squirrel on the end step here. And that'll give us our first Spinning Darkness if they just play like an Axe-Bane Guardian here or something. There's the Axe-Bane. Village Rites. 2 Carrion Feeders. Not really where we want to be. And I don't need another Stamina. Alright, let's Spinning Darkness this guy. And I'm just going to play the Bloodthrone Vampire. Another Axe-Bane. Gave me a Nested Shambler. Oh my god. Yes, the 4th Stamina is exactly what I wanted in my top 15 cards. Okay, I can play a double feeder. If need be, I can sacrifice them both and Rite of Consumption this turn. Not Rite of Consumption, I can Spinning Darkness. I'll attack with the Vampire for probably 1 damage. Unless they block. I mean, I'm going to sack these. I'm absolutely going to sack these both to eat the Wall of Roots. And it gives me the Spinning Darkness, which we will use right away. Thought I wouldn't. And then we can use our Combat Trick deck to deal him super lethal. There's a Battlement. Tragic Slip. I can use a Stamina plus a Tragic Slip to kill this. And I will. Or maybe I'll just use 2 Staminas. They're going to block. I'm going to play the most embarrassing game of Pauper I've ever played. Cycle a Generous Ent. And we're going to just spend 2 Combat Tricks to kill this 0-4. They play a land, and looks like they're out of creatures, though. I mean, we're basically out of creatures. I guess I can Stamina and Village Rites this guy. We might as well. Hit for 3. Cycle another Generous Ent, so that they can play another. They get a Gingerbread Cabin. We're going to sack this. Comes back. We draw 2. Get a Beetle. That's not nothing. They have a Gingerbread Cabin, but no creature. Okay. and we get a Sage. Okay, can we kill this turn? That's +7, or no, +6. So it's 7 damage, and then we can write only for 7. Oh, but we can also sack is +6 because of our beetle. 8 damage, but they have a food, so now I can't quite kill. But we can still hit for a lot. Sack their food. We will attack. So we're gonna stamina the Sage and sack it a bunch of times for some extra damage. I didn't count this. Maybe this is lethal this way, but I don't think so. Sack. So this is 8. It's +3, so it would be 14. 8 puts them to 10. We got to save some of these for a Tragic Slip and a Rite of Consumption. So I'll just hit for 8 and I'll pass. I assume they have a bunch of splash cards in their hand. They have a Bramble Worm, okay. We can kill that with the Tragic Slip, but they do gain 5. So if I sack these, we're up to 5, 10 damage, and then we have a Rite of Consumption. So let's sacrifice, Tragic Slip the Bramble Worm, sacrifice, attack for 10, Rite of Consumption for 5. Okay, I can't believe we won that after we drew all of our staminas when we wanted like maybe 1 or 2. We waited the extra turn when it didn't pan out. But we did just have a lot of removal against their guys, and no one's expecting the +4/+0 out of combat tricks when they blocked. All right, we're on the play here. Tons of fodder and just a Marauder. Not the type of hand I like to keep, but since we have variety of fodder, like so many of our cards are good draws. We have 7 draw 2s. We have 8 growers that sack. I guess we have 6 growers that don't sack, and those are pretty bad draws. Supernatural Stamina's okay. We got at least 15 to 20 good draws. I think I'll keep it. We are on the play. It's also not bad if they just have, like, I don't know, an early creature that we can Marauder away. Even just, like, killing their first elf if they're Arbor Elves or Elves is pretty decent. Mountain, but it's a Theros Mountain, so let's delve really deeply into this. I guess Delve isn't really in red, but maybe they're playing Heroic because it's Theros. All right, in which case, if they were, actually Marauder would be very, very good. But they didn't play anything, so we're just going to attack. They could also just be mono red, and this could walk into like an End the Festivities or something, but they're not playing that as much recently because Kuldotha is not as prevalent. It's Firebrand Archer, okay. I don't see this one a lot. Could just be pingers, but this isn't a pinger we see super often. I'm absolutely just going to take this opportunity to Marauder it away. But I think I can easily get in for 3 damage here first, and even if they trade, I'm happy with that too. And then I'm going to play a Marauder. I'm going to sack a Link Breaker because it makes the Mercenary, which can buff our Shambler. So if we get a way to sack it, we can actually get extra squirrels out of it. We also just have they Ren's Resolve. Yeah, Pinger Burn, Lava Dart, and another Firebrand. We also just have a pretty fast start here. No extra land is pretty good because that means next turn they're going to want to get Firebrand Archer, but we're already like dealing them a lot of damage. This is 6 here, so they're down to 10. We get a Vermin. We're kind of just overwhelming them. They can definitely just Lava Dart this Vermin, and I can't do anything about it, but that means they don't get their Firebrand Archer unless they top deck a Mountain, and it just seems pretty solid to me. They do play the Archer. If they do have a Mountain, they can still ping off 2 of these guys, and that's not bad for them, but it's not amazing. And they don't have the Mountain. Really good for us. We get a Beetle. I will once again grow the Shambler, just in case they block it, although I don't know why they'd block it over any of the other cards. Just going to swing with the crew. They're not going to block, and they're going to go down to 1. Fortunately, I didn't have any sack effect, so I didn't have any way to make that more. I can't imagine that playing this Beetle helps us. On the off chance they do get like an End the Festivities, I'd rather not play the Beetle out. And I think we probably have them dead unless they get like an End the Festivities or something else. And they'd still need to deal with the 3 creatures we get out of the End the Festivities. They would have to draw insanely well to deal us 20 damage from here, I think. It would have to be like, even Bolt, Bolt, Bolt is 12 damage, and then Fire Blast is only 17. They do Lava Dart our face. I'm not sure if this is just from Hell's Heart they stab at thee, or if there's actually some way they can kill us. I guess I did count 17 damage, and then Firebrand Archer would deal 2 more, so they actually could deal us 19 if they had gotten a Mountain, had triple Bolt, and a Fire Blast. They bolt their own Archer, so I think we got this one. All right, so Pinger Burn makes me, I mean, certainly we want the life gain, Crypt Incursion, and Spinning Darkness, but also because it's Pinger, their creatures are really important, so I actually want Marauders and Tragic Slips. We don't need Vermin. We don't need very much card draw, and we don't need wedding invitations. Everything else seems solid. Because they're playing Firebrand Archers, there may be some merit to a Drown in Sorrow. Generally, I don't like it if their pingers are all Kessig, Flame Breathers, and Thermo Alchemists, because they don't die to it. But if they're playing Firebrand Archers as well as Tomb Raiders and Percussionists and things like that, I might bring in the Drown in Sorrow in game 3, but I think we'll just leave it like this for now. All right, similar hand to last time, but we actually have the old Carrion Feeder Beetle start, which is pretty nice. They don't have a 1-drop again. We're going to just lead on a Link Breaker so that they can't just Lava Dart or Beetle or something. And they have a Flame Breather this time. Rite of Consumption's not bad. I don't think we're just going to play these out because they still just died a Bolt. But if I think I can get in for a bluff damage here. I do run Supernatural Stamina, but they might not know that because that's not in every version. But their Flame Breather's so important, I don't think they're going to block this. Yeah, got a free damage. All right, we're just going to run out of fodder first because the next turn we can play these and we have 6 +1/+1 counters to distribute. They're probably not going to be able to kill them from that point, and then we can write the following turn and we'll be in a good spot. Firebrand Archer, Lava Spike. They do get a mountain here, so they can spike us for 4. They might just save it for the Firebrand next turn and also leave up some interaction. Bloodthrone Vampire. Actually, that's interesting because Bloodthrone with Rite, this is +6, so that's 13. Almost makes me want to play Bloodthrone Vampire first. It's also a lot harder for them to kill. So, yeah, let's play a Bloodthrone Vampire and then a Beetle. And then I can attack. They're going to block, and I just get a counter on a Beetle. I don't think I need that. I think if we just survive, keep our Bloodthrone Vampire alive, attack for a bunch, even if they block it, we can then Rites it for like 15. I think we'll be okay. Firebrand Archer. They do have another mountain, so they're not going to fully tap out here, probably. Lava Spike is going to be a Lava Axe, putting us to 14. They do have a Chain Lightning for the Dome. Okay, so that's also 5. Puts us to 14. The Spike puts us to 9. Even if Fire Blast doesn't kill us, though. Double Fire Blast? That'd be crazy. But if they have double Fire Blast, we'll die. They do have 4 mountains for it. So it's going to be unfortunate if they have it, because I think we were in a really good spot if they don't. But if they got it, then I respect it. They're going for it, so I can't imagine they're going to do this without the second Fire Blast. Indeed. Well, that is very unfortunate. But kind of crazy. Even surviving at 1 life would have been pretty good there. Top deck a Marauder. That would have been nice. I guess we probably wouldn't play it, but dang. And that is unfortunate. We don't really have anything that could have stopped that. I guess Duresses aren't bad in this matchup because we can just take like Fire Blast and stuff. So instead of in like a Kuldotha match where it's like, oh, 1 Duress takes away 3 damage, it could have taken away 6 damage there because of the free Fire Blast. So, but we are on the play here. If we were just on the play there, we would have gotten them because we had the faster start. I think on the draw, maybe the Duress would have been decent, but I think on the play, we're just going to leave it. Don't really know what else to cut for it, to be fair. Oof. 4 lands is too many. This is kind of a nice start, though. I think we might keep this. But there's no interaction, so we die pretty easily to a Pinger. Unless we draw something. We need to draw kind of a lot. I'm going to throw it back. I'm pretty tempted. This hand's fine. It's not really exciting. But we do kill their first guy. If they haven't killed our first Beetle right away, then we also get one of those down. I don't know. Not my favorite hand. Maybe just start with a Swamp and a Dart. Yep. Not my favorite. Now I can't play a Vampire by itself. I can't play a Beetle. So I guess I just get a Link Breaker. I guess I could play a Beetle because if they sack their mountain, to kill this, I'm kind of okay with that. If they just have another one, it's kind of annoying. But I think we'll just do it. They do just have another Lava Dart. But they're on 1 land. Okay, well that's something. There's no way they're going to sack them now. We get in for 1. We get a Bloodthrone Vampire down. Maybe we can just deal them some quick damage. Although if they bolt this, I'd have to double sack this to keep it alive. They found their mountain right away. Well, that's annoying. Reckless Impulse finds 2 pingers. That's nice because they can't play them both. And then when they play 1, we can just Marauder it away. Carrion Feeder's not bad. We're just going to get down these guys. Attack. I could get in for a bunch of damage here. I do think I kind of want the Link Breaker. Yeah, let's just get in for an extra 1. The Mercenary giving an extra power is pretty nice, so I think we'll do that. They got a Flame Breather and another Mountain, so they can bolt something. They also don't have to feel too bad about Lava Darting something now with 3 lands. It looks like they're going to leave it up. We get a Swamp. Let's just start with a Marauder, force them to use anything they want right now. They will bolt us. Okay, I'll sack the Sage and attack for 3. Not really attacking as fast as I'd want to. Lava Dart on the Bloodthrone Vampire. I think we don't have enough creatures for me to try to save this, so I think I'll just sack it to the Carrion Feeder. We need the more sustainable damage, I think. If they try to Lava Dart this in response, I'll just keep sacking things to keep it alive, I think. If they just bolt it, I might have to just accept that it's going to die. And they concede. I mean, I think we were in a decent spot with the Lava Darts. Like, we could just keep growing this. So they shot, I'd grow it, shot, I'd grow it. So I could have like 5 damage. But their hand must have been like nothing. Because even a bolt would have like thrown us for a loop here and given them 2 or 3 more turns. But I guess we're going on to the finals. All right, round 5. We have Triple Beetle, Link Breaker, card draw, 1 land. I feel like part of me says I should stop keeping hands like this, but part of me keeps winning with them. So who's in the wrong? But that said, this one doesn't look very good. Even if we get like a Carrion Feeder, we need a lot more fodder for the Beetles. This one I'm going to throw back. This hand's a little better. Actually pretty decent, to be honest. The bad part is we have to throw back... I'm going to keep this Vermin, but we have to throw back a Swamp, so if I don't get another Swamp for a while, it could be unfortunate. But Sage, Vermin, together is 3 pieces of fodder, plus a Wedding Invitation for a card draw, and it gives unblockable to the Vampire and Lifelink. Just looks like some decent synergy. Island, go. Anytime that I see interesting, different, new type island, like this, I kind of assume High Tide. I don't know if that's just like recency bias or what, but I can't remember the last time that someone playing this type of island was on Fae. You know what I mean? I'm playing Vampire this turn anyway, and I'm attacking with the Sage anyway. If I attack with this and they Humble Elder me, they got me. But I don't think I'm willing to give up a damage against a High Tide opponent. And we'll play our Vampire, and that just worked. Look, it's going to be Island, Merchant Scroll. Any time now, any second now. We've got a decent hand against High Tide, I will say. Another Island, mismatching, also from Tarkir Dragonstorm. Village Rites, okay. So I'm just attacking for 2. There is always a possibility it's still Fae, in which case just running out a Sage could get spell stuttered. So if I attack and nothing happens throughout combat, I might just play a Wedding Invitation. I guess that gets spell pierced, but not stuttered. Not as much damage as the Sage. You know what? I think I'm just going to go with the Sage. If it gets spell stuttered, so be it. I'll Village Rites this Sage while they're tapped out, and it didn't. Now they're going to cycle a Lorien. Peer through depths. All right, there we go. Come on. Where's my prize? It's High Tide. Hopefully they don't have the turn 3 win. If I can get they got a Psychic Puppetry. If I can get what is it? Rites of Initiation off the top, they're going for it. If I can get a Rites of Initiation, I can maybe have lethal. Well, if I sack here, Rites isn't going to be lethal. But I can't not sack here, because I only have 1 card to draw Rites otherwise. Feeder, Shambler. If we get a Supernatural Stamina, that would be enough to be lethal. They might just Giga Drowse my guys. A Nested Shambler, I don't think that's enough, because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14. We're too short. But I also feel like they're going to Giga Drowse or maybe just Puppetry my Vampire here. In which case I kind of want to intimidate them into thinking that I'm going to potentially kill. So let's just go to combat here. See if they want to tap anything. They reach through mists, splicing the Puppetry. Okay. We'll attack for 2. And I'm going to put down Carrion Feeder because it's another threat. And we're going to hope we don't die. They start with a Ponder. That's a good sign. It's always good if they don't start on High Tide. It doesn't mean that they couldn't find like a card that they want to go off with now, but they only have 1 Puppetry that we know about. To Flood of Recollection back a Ponder is also pretty decent. They're going to cast that. That means they're tapped out. Surely I have lethal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Unless they have some sort of free Giga Drowse. Oh, and we got a stamina. We should be good. We don't even need the stamina though. So let's just go to combat, sacrifice. So there's no reason to show it to them. Not that it should make a big difference, but this is 12. Oh, it actually is. No, yeah, I can just sack the Shambler here. And we have 16 damage. All right. That was potentially close. I mean, they did have to like do all that pondering, so maybe they weren't as close as it looked, but we were able to get there. High Tide means we get Duresses and Spell Bombs. That's kind of it. They don't have creatures, so Marauders are bad, as are Wedding Invitations. The Rites are good, though, because they can just speed up the clock by a turn. They don't have any creatures, so none of this matters. Life gain doesn't matter. Crypt doesn't matter. I guess some versions do play Murmuring Mystic, but I think if they get to the point where they Murmuring Mystic and go off with it, we're probably dead anyway. So yeah, I guess that's what we're doing. Oh, we're at 61. Oops, I don't know how we were at 61, but I guess I should have had taken out one of those spell bombs. Because what? I took out 2 Accursed Marauders, put in 3 Duresses, 2 spell bombs. I don't know. This one looks pretty good. I would prefer a Vampire for this, but we have this combo, which is super, super good. Because we can just attack with a 7-power feeder on turn 2. Which we are potentially going to do. Now, of course, it all being in one creature means they can definitely just Giga Drowse it. But that means from, like, turn 2, they're going to have to, like, worry about that. So, yeah. We're just going to play a Shambler. We're going to attack. Supernatural Stamina the Shambler. Sacrifice it. Bring it back. Make 3 1/1s. I guess I could leave... I could sack the Shambler here. I could just leave all the 1/1s here. So I'm not all bunched up, but then that's leaving a bunch of damage on the table. I think we're just going all in. This is also better if we... Well, if they have a snap, it's really bad. Well, we're already committed. Let's try to deal them 7. Cyclo-Lorian. They gave me a heart attack at them tapping mana. All right, they're at 13. So it's worse to Giga Drowse and snap, but it's better just in general because it's faster clock. They can also Psychic Puppetry, but if they have to start casting Psychic Puppetries, that's really good. If they have like Reach Through Mist and stuff, that's also not bad. They're going to Merchant Scroll. Okay, if I can get a Rites of Initiation, then I could just win right here. But I have to top deck it, because if I play Sage and Rites, they tutor for a snap. That's pretty funny. We get a Swamp. So, yeah, I don't have it here, but we are just going to draw 2, see what we got. Another Sage. I can hit for 10. That's not good enough, so we'll just attack for 7. Maybe we should have sacked the Sage for 1 extra point of damage because it's the same amount attacking them anyway. But if they snap this, I'll probably just sacrifice it so that they can't untap. It's kind of a 3-turn clock anyway, which is really slow. Like if we untap and they could potentially still go off. Although if they could go off, they probably would have before they snapped. I don't know. I think we can sacrifice it. I guess this is worse against Rites. No, it doesn't matter because it's going to be a small guy anyway. I don't know. And then they Flood of Recollection, Returning Snap. And we top deck a land, so we could just lose this one. But ideally, them having to spend their first early turns disrupting us will give us some time. Cyclo-Lorian. And they're going to pass. Beetle is fine. They might have to just snap this Insect. They don't. Let's play a Beetle. Means we have 3 creatures. They got to get rid of 2 of them, or tap 2 of them, or just win here. All of which is possible. They just have another island. And they're going for the High Tide. We know they have a snap in hand, so they have Ideas Unbound with 1 puppetry. All right, let's hope they whiff. Another High Tide. Blood of Recollection on Ideas Unbound. That's unfortunate. Ear Through Depths. Yeah, I think if we had not gone all in, now they have 2 puppetries. I think if we had not gone all in on the 1 Carrion Feeder, we could have gotten there. Because we wouldn't have hit for, we would hit for 4 less that first turn, but then we would have just had 4 1/1s, which definitely would have cleaned them up by this turn 6. So I think we made the wrong call, but it was kind of tough to know. They were doing a bunch of stuff, by the way. Another High Tide, Reach Through Mists, Ponder, Puppetry, Preordain, Blood of Recollection, Peer Through Depths, High Tide, Merchant Scroll for a Peer Through Depths, Ideas Unbound, Snap an Insect, Snap a Sage, Puppetry a lands, Puppetry some more lands, Puppetry a final land. Alright, they got the Stream of Thought. Alright, we're on the play. We are at 61 cards. I'm confused about that. We pulled out the Wedding Invitations and the Marauders. We put in 5 cards. Okay, yeah, we'll take out one of the Spell Bombs then, because they're not super helpful. They're a little helpful. And hope that we can get there since we're on the play this time. Ugh, one lander is so sketchy here. Hand's not amazing anyway. I don't think we can chance a one lander. I think this is a pretty good matchup as long as we just put down some reliable threats. This hand looks better, so we'll get rid of a swamp. And we'll just start with a beetle, because I might put down a Bloodthrone Vampire turn 2, followed by some of these guys. Rite of Consumption's not bad. Let me just attack for 1, play a Bloodthrone Vampire, pass. They've got just the 2 mana up. Duress is a good start. Am I firing it off here? Yeah, I think so. Just gotta see what they got going on. I probably wasn't stacking anything this turn, so I probably should have just gone to attack for 2 first, but... Alright, Snap, High Tide, Ideas Unbound, Peer Through Depths. Not an amazing hand. Snap interrupts us, so I might just want to take that, but that leaves them with their game plan pretty intact. Peer Through Depths is pretty good. I could just take the High Tide, because they'll need more High Tides, plus they'll need... Yeah, I think we're just taking High Tide. It is the name of the deck, and we're just attacking for a small amount of damage for a little while here. Play a Carrion Feeder, and then pass. There's the Peer Through Depths. They got a Puppetry. It's not bad. Island, and they drew a Flood of Recollection. That's annoying. So they got the High Tide back. We got a Duress, so we can just High Tide. Oh, but they tapped out a Snap. I don't suppose we can win here. We don't have mana for Rite and Infestation Sage, so the best we could do is 5, 10 damage. I could just play Sage. I probably am just playing Sage and Duressing the High Tide again. And with Sage, we can attack for 3 or 5. Yeah. Or I could take the Snap this time, but then they're going to go for it, and they have a chance of hitting. Without High Tide, there's no way they can go off, so we'll just take it again. Lay out our Sage. Attack for 3. Do I want to make it any more? I kind of want to save this for a big Rites turn, but if we go for a big turn when they have Snap up, it's going to be kind of tough. I think I will speed up the clock a little bit by sacking once. So 5 damage. Could sack again and go up to 7 damage. And that's only like a 2-turn clock. And if they don't snap right away, we can Rites. You know what? I'll sack here too. They're at 10, and we have the potential to kill next turn, depending on what they do. It's like, even if they snap a Beetle or a Feeder, we can pump to make it so that one of these is a 5/5, and then we can get in with the Rites. They top deck a Ponder, play an Island, and a Link Breaker, but I can't play that if I want to Rites, which is fine. They have one unknown card. Theoretically, it could be a Muddle the Mixture, but if they go for a Snap, they won't be able to because I'll sack whatever they target, so we'll just try to attack for 7. They take it. We're going to go for the Rites. We're going to sack the Beetle to try to hit him for 3. They drew a Muddle the Mixture. They're not dead yet, but if they didn't, we got them. Whew. Nice! We got a trophy with Black Sack, dude. That's so exciting. Really glad I was able to finally get a trophy with a variation of Black Sack. I'm really liking this Bloodthrone Vampire plus Rite of Consumption package. The Supernatural Stamina plus Nested Shambler package is really nice. The deck works pretty well. Still not loving the Voracious Vermin. It's good sometimes, but just quite pricey, and I think it might be something that I'll try to replace at some point. But overall, liking this version of the deck a lot. Probably will be playing it a little bit more, but I also have a couple other versions that I've been working on. So Glad I was able to capture the trophy on camera. That's also especially cool. So if anyone's trying to tell you Black Sack is not a real deck, we just beat Rakdos Madness and Pinger Burn, two of the most prevalent decks in the format, not to mention High Tide and Walls combos, which are both pretty reasonable decks as well, and then also Infect, which is making a slight comeback, though I don't expect it to last very long, because as soon as people see Infect, they'll start siding against it. But yeah, this deck is absolutely sweet, and if you haven't picked it up yet, now's the time. This trophy and all of my content is made possible by my patrons. Thank you so much, especially to my $10 patron, Howard Granger. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you all next time.